Maersk, Alabama.
We are an unarmed freighter. We have 2 skiffs approaching with armed intruders.
Potential piracy situation.
Copy, Alabama. You should alert your crew and get your fire hoses ready.
Is that it?
Chances are it's just fishermen.
They're not here to fish.
Captain Hanks, here to save the day with another moving performance. You know, the interesting thing about this now, this is Captain Phillips. About it's sort of a biopic about this real guy named what was his name? Todd Phillips.
Captain Phillips.
Richard Phillips. That's it. Yeah, Captain Phillips.
Captain Phillips, right? That's the name of the movie, right?
First name is Captain.
It's Dick Phillips.
No, Captain Richard Phillips. Now, I was reading something interesting before we started because it's based on a book called A Captain's Duty or Captain's Story, something like that. And the book...
Captain's Duty.
I knew y'all were going to do that. Slap that motherfucker. Cyrus, you slapped the co-host over here.
Wait, is this a comedy? What's going on?
Hey, you stop right there because I'm going to get slapped next. but no, now in the book, they say they paint the captain as heroic.
Right.
Like he really had his shit together. Like he came in and stopped those pirates. But the rest of the crew said, no, he actually fucked this up, man. He said, because the movie's about this ship, this cargo ship, the Maersk, Alabama, which is taken over by a crew of young Somali pirates. And the history behind it is that this is the first ship to be taken over successfully by pirates since the 19th century. So you have to fuck up bad to actually let them on.
Since the Pirates of the Caribbean days?
Yeah, exactly. Since Jack Sparrow actually boarded a ship.
or you had some really motivated pirates.
Well, the rest of the crew, I think there's one quote where they said, "Man, I had this shit." You know?
Yeah. Everybody's a hero after the shit is over.
So-called Captain Phillips was hiding in the kitchen. Shit.
Yeah, I would have.
Coward.
Yeah, he was eating Captain Crunch. Yeah.
I would have fixed that shit, but I'm Union, so.
Yeah. I had a red belt in Taekwondo. I'm taking care of all this.
Yeah.
Even though somewhere, Steven Seagal's just sitting here shaking his head, going, "What the fuck? I was just the chef, and I did that shit twice."
Some guy. This movie should have been called Mop Up Boy Wilson. That's me, because I saved this shit.
Yeah, I had this shit, but Captain Phillips forgot to tell me my break was over. But no matter what you believe, I mean, we all go into Hollywood looking at a biopic and knowing that, hey, you know what? We're probably not watching the real story.
Obviously. Or, maybe most of it's true or half of it, not the whole thing.
Yes, that is true. And what I like about this is that whether you know about the story, whether you believe it or not or whatever, the movie is what it is. And what I love about this is that this is directed by Paul Greengrass.
Yeah.
And Paul Greengrass actually he directed one of my favorite movies that came out the year it did come out, which is United 73.
Right.
Which is about one of the planes that
Terrific
crashed into the
movie.
tower. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so depressed. Oh.
Sorry, but hold on.
I never saw it.
Well, maybe it's a cheer you up. He also directed The Bourne Supremacy. Oh, I hate that movie. No. I'm more depressed now. No.
And The Ultimatum.
That's terrible.
Did he do
Yeah,
Ultimatum
he did
too?
both the second 2 films.
Well, the cool thing about United 73 is that he wanted to make it seem like it had a very documentary feel to it.
Which he was successful
Which
at.
he was very successful at. Now, with The Bourne Supremacy, he's like, all right, it's an action film, but I want I want the action to seem real and gritty, so I'm gonna just shake the camera.
I'm not gonna shoot action at all. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Stop it now. But you know what? I think he took the best elements of both those films and kind of combined it to get this film right here because it is a drama, but the action in here is amazing.
Yeah,
I think at least.
I was just gonna say, yeah, he combined the best elements of both of those because I was expecting, kind of a standard biopic, a hostage film, almost a bottle film, and you'd go along waiting. I was on the edge of my seat probably through this whole movie, like not taking a breath, just like
really.
And there was a point like I was just so tensed up. I'm like,
I'm
gonna be sore when this is over with.
Sphincter's just hurting right now.
Pretty much.
Almost drowned in his own
wish
pee.
I could be there with you guys. I do, because I watch this movie and I go, wow, this is actually a really well-made film. There's nothing about it I don't really like, but there's a large portion of it, this whole second half, in fact, because this movie is 2 halves. First half, on the boat, there's pirates out there. Oh, pirates are coming. What are we going to do? Pirates are getting in the boat. What are we going to do now here? Second half, all on a lifeboat, right?
Yeah.
That second half, I lasted 20 minutes into it before I started kind of losing interest, quite frankly.
See,
I was just like, it's just the same thing. And I'm like going, it's well done, but it kind of got like the same reasons Zero Dark 30 lost me at points, where I was like, this is turning into a military procedural, and I'm actually starting to get a little bit bored.
You know what?
Leo, he thought Captain Phillips was a superhero.
The thing is, like, when does Captain America come in and say that?
He's a superhero who deals with fights like this. Come on, guys, let's talk about this.
Oh, stop
He
it.
Tom Hanked his way out of situations.
Yeah, man. The way they do it in real life. That's one thing I thought about watching this. Like, you talked about Zero Dark 30, because I was like, man, fuck that. What was that? That Heroes of Valor, that movie they made with
Act of Valor.
Acts of Valor with actual Navy SEALs.
Yeah.
And Zero
Acts of Valor.
Let me Valor axe you something.
I'm sorry. You want to finish my sentence?
Yeah, let me finish. He's the Acts of Valor. No, I'm sorry.
No. Between Acts of Valor, which was all like, see, look what the Navy SEALs do. We got real Navy SEALs. It's like, yeah, we got real Navy SEAls who can't act in a fourth-rate Sylvester Stallone movie, and you got Zero Dark 30, where it's like, well, it's a bunch of actors acting like Navy SEAls. But this, to me, promoted Navy SEAls better than any movie I've seen. That's why I was like, God damn, Navy SEAls are badasses.
So the Navy SEAls play a big role in this movie, then?
There aren't any Navy SEAL characters per se.
And he's right. I mean, the movie is sort of in two parts, because in addition to just seeing how the pirates are about to take over, you see how the lives of these two people are very different from each other, and what leads up to them crossing their paths. I mean, you get to see Captain Phillips wake up, go about his day. It's going to be another day on the ship. Oh, here we go.
Beautiful day for sailing, boys.
Because Pepperidge Farm, remember.
But
Damn it, Leo, now I want some cookies.
but then you get to see the Somali pirates, which they are, a lot of them are just kids, man. And they got these warlords coming in. I mean, it is scary, because they drive up and they're just like, yo, get up, let's go. I need my money. They're just like, shit, I got to get them their money. So
Yeah, man. I couldn't live in Somalia, and not because I'd be poor or have to do shit I don't want to do, just because you always have somebody yelling in your face with their eyes wide open. Just get over here, do this, cook my dinner, and change the TV.
The most interesting thing about this movie is the Somalians in this film. Tom Hanks is playing Tom Hanks and doing a great job at playing Tom Hanks. We love Tom Hanks. He's a national treasure, let's face it.
We stay locked down until help arrives. No one comes out until you hear the non-duress password from me, which is supper time. Jesus. If the pirates find you, remember, you know the ship, they don't. Make them feel like they're in charge, but keep them away from the important things like the generator and the engine controls. Stick together, and we'll be all right. Good luck.
The Somalians are super intense. They built their characters where we start to know each one of them as the type of person they are.
Yeah.
And as the movie goes on, the more interesting stuff going on in the lifeboat sequence, as we're starting to see their relationship crumble between them and defining them as actual human beings. That's actually really interesting to me. And I kept wondering afterwards, like, man, these guys are so good. They're better than Tom Hanks in this movie. I wonder if they're actually Somalians, or if you met him, he's like, oh, hey, I'm Steve. How you doing?
one of them was Robert Downey Jr.
That guy can do anything.
Yeah, he's great, wasn't he?
Yeah, the other was Robert Downey, or was Robert De Niro. He lost a lot of weight for that role.
I wonder if it's any prosthetics, or it's just Somalians like have that look where they have like the jagged teeth and pronounced foreheads, because they made them look like skinny Klingons.
I know, man. That's what I was wondering. I was like, I don't know what they did, because they had a
casting.
casting.
Got a lot of incest in his tribe.
they had a casting call in Minneapolis.
Is that right?
Nah, this had to be some makeup.
Are you sure it wasn't
Minneapolis is Prince?
Are you sure it wasn't Detroit?
I was going to say.
I mean, the way they no, it was Minneapolis, and the way they got these Somalians looking, man. I don't know their names. I'm not gonna even try to say their names, but they were very realistic. The lead one, whose name is Muse in the movie, that motherfucker could be on something on The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I mean,
With no extra makeup. No extra makeup at all.
I know. He's got a big old bee sting on his forehead.
He looked like he had horns trying to come out.
It's like a horseshoe crab crawled on top of his head while he was asleep, and it just melded into it. There, he's like, oh well.
And every time he talked like this.
We work together.
It's going to be all right.
It'll be
You just
all
do what
right.
they say.
It'll be all right, Irish.
I mean, it's not even, you're trying to talk to this guy because they're like, hey, look, we got a lot of money on the boat. It's $30,000. I want $1 million. All right, we'll get you $1 million. I want $30 million. It's like, look, damn. These motherfuckers want to die.
That's another part why they were interesting, because they're just so fucking clueless, and they're in a situation where they don't have any choice. We see from the beginning where their warlord is like, look, you're going to get your ass out on the boat and you're going to bring me back some shit. And so they're out there going, I just want this shit to stop. There was that point early on. It's like, look, man, I don't tell you. We're a cargo ship. There's nothing really. We don't have TVs or cars or anything. We have $30,000 to save. You can have that. It's like, no, I want millions.
Yeah.
And that look on Tom Hanks' face where he's like, oh, shit. They're idiots.
Yeah, but they're idiots with assault rifles.
They're idiots with guns. I mean, they're scared stupid.
I mean,
really.
they're outnumbered except for the fact that they all have machine guns.
And they're working for Dr. Evil?
Well, and nobody on this crew, on this entire ship has, not only do they not have weapons, but they're like, look, I'm Union. I don't get paid to fight pirates.
I bet you that shit's changed since.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I bet
And
that.
plus, they were mad because every time they sat down for a break, Tom Hanks would come in the room. You finished with that coffee yet? God damn, I just sat down.
What are you, a hall
Glad they
monitor?
got attacked by pirates, because when he's trying to like get them to get to work and run the drills, they had an attitude. He's like, I'm feeling weird. Let's run the drills, and they're all like,
Damn, man. I ain't finished my honey bun yet.
Yeah, we miss the scenes when he leaves. They're all like, arr, and making pirate jokes about Tom Hanks.
They ended up looking like the Somalians at the end of the movie. They worked so hard.
Forrest Gump looking motherfucker. I heard that. Sorry, boss. No, you know what, man? Listen, I was excited through this whole movie. I was thrilled through this whole film because in the first half, when the ship is being taken over, it's Tom Hanks trying to figure out, I cannot let these pirates find out that where the crew is, and they're just going through that ship. I mean, listen, we're talking about these crew like they're really stupid, but they're saying, hey, listen. I mean, they're not really thinking it through, but they know enough to say, hey, look, you know what? I want to search every part of this ship.
Right.
I don't know what you're gonna find. I don't give a fuck. I want every part of this ship searched. And the whole time the crew is down there like shit. Then it turns into Die Hard a little bit too. But then they actually take Tom Hanks off of the ship and hold him hostage. And then you get to see that's where the military part comes in, because the Navy comes in. They say, all right, how are we going to coordinate this to get this guy off of that lifeboat alive?
Well, yeah, because you can't take Tom Hanks.
Of course not.
National treasure. Like, you take Tom Hanks. I'm surprised the president didn't show up and negotiate that shit.
I mean, so much. Yeah, there's constant tension because you got these pirates trying to board, and it's like if they get on, we got no defense against these guys. And then it's like, okay, how do we keep everybody hidden? All right, now they got Tom Hanks. How do we get him out of this? It's like, and you think, oh well, if the Navy gets here, they'll solve everything. And they let you know early on that, like, look, there's orders like, if you can't get him off, just kill everybody.
Yeah.
So it's a race to the clock.
So-
like the Navy SEALs, like okay, the SEAls are on their way.
Yeah.
And the SEAls their orders are, do not let that ship reach Somalia no matter what. You understand? No matter what.
So I'm imagining Wilson shows up as Bruce Willis
That's who saves
to
the
rescue,
day.
to rescue Tom Hanks. Wilson comes, machine guns blazing.
They're reunited. This is actually a sequel to Castaway.
No, actually, he ends up dressing up like a woman, Tom Hanks. And oh,
That's
what
how
are
they
you
get him off.
pirates doing?
That makes
Tom
sense.
Hanks is like, man, way too many of my movies take place on the water.
Yeah, I got to stop this shit.
Yeah, this sounds like an Oscar, waiting to get the Oscar.
This will be nominated for Best Picture, man. I'm telling you
Really?
right now. I confidently say that. And man, look, it has everything. What I like about it, the drama's there, no doubt. That's great. But it's rare that you see a drama of this caliber at least, able to handle everything that you get to see in an action movie that works. It has stealth. It has gunplay. It has narrow escapes.
Has Wilson.
It has no Wilson. All right, everybody
Come on, don't lie to
Wilson's
me.
in there for real.
Well, plus now there's like 70 nominations for Best Picture every year, so it's like, fuck it, we're nominating. The Smurfs 2 is getting nominated for Best Picture.
Freeberg and Sells, they get a nomination this year.
It better for Leon's sake.
No, I don't know, man.
But you know what? You actually nailed it. It's like, it's a drama that's got action movie sensibilities. It's not an action movie, but you still have that feeling that you get. But all the great acting that you get from a drama. But
I'd
man,
say it's an action movie.
I don't know.
Now the Academy, the filmmaker's going to say, don't call it an action movie. We're not going to get that Oscar nomination.
I think if you tell somebody it's an action movie, they would sit there going like, well, I was expecting more action. But as a drama, it's like, wow, it's really dramatic, but it also has these action moments.
Is it action in the way of Zero Dark 30?
No.
It has action.
More like that.
It has a few action tropes to it, but ultimately, you're set up to expect an action movie for the first half in some ways, because we've seen this type of movie and it always ends up with like one by one they take down the pirates, and it's not that kind of movie.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be that for a while.
Yeah,
It's
and
not.
instead it really is more of a human drama type of thing.
Which to me, I don't know. That was the best of both worlds.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's the best Tom Clancy video game I've ever seen. So,
Wow, okay.
No, it actually feels kind of, has elements of that in there, too. I don't know, man. Okay. Now, you remember when I told you, I said, Leon, I love this movie, but there's some assholes who are going to think that this is too boring. And you said, I don't see that.
That's me, huh? Is that what you're leading up to?
I did not say names.
Is that what
I
we're
didn't
doing?
say any names.
He said assholes, not jackasses.
I didn't realize there was that big of a distinction.
I didn't say no names. No. Okay, now if I could just take the asshole part out of it. He did ask me tonight. He came up to me and said, man, I don't know what you're talking about. You said you were bored. And I said, no, I said some people might find it boring. And you see what I'm talking about. I told him.
Now, once again, it wasn't so much finding it boring, but it lost the momentum for me. So that momentum that was in the first half where I was really with it, in the second half, it just got overlong. And it is a long movie anyway.
This was one where when we came out and found out how long it was, I was shocked because I never felt the length of it. And that part you're talking about, not only was I not bored, but I was like, yeah, this makes it feel how it really would be to be locked in there with those pirates, where it's like the shit's just not going to be over quickly. And the longer it goes on, the longer you don't know how it's going to end.
And once again, I can't even really criticize it. I don't think it's necessarily a problem with the movie. It is. I admit, it's with me as a viewer and the type of thing I like.
It is.
Fair enough.
The type of thing I like. I kept waiting for a third act to kick in, and there's not. There's 2 acts in this film, and it's divided neatly down the middle. And for like 2.5 hours? It's 2 acts is feel a lot longer than they are for that reason.
2 and 15.
Yeah, something like that.
Some change.
It's well done. It hits all the marks it should. It just, for me, there was that point I was like, okay, I'm kind of ready for this to go ahead and wrap up, actually. You made your point. You've done everything I think you're going to do. And I felt like they were right. It had. I was like, okay, now we're just waiting for it to wrap up.
Wrap it up,
And there's a point, like almost at the beginning of the second act, you already know exactly how it's going to end pretty much. It's just a matter of getting there. And fortunately, you have all that wonderful character stuff going on inside the lifeboat. But like I said, I just wasn't with it to the level that you guys were.
Is the lifeboat stuff like The Odd Couple?
No.
What? Don't talk to me. Just sit your ass over there.
I know there's a black guy and a white guy in there, and that can't be good, right?
It's a black guy and several white guys in there.
I mean, no, it's a white guy and several black.
I'm sorry. It's a one white guy and several black guys.
Oh, that's even worse.
Gee, I wonder what that's like.
So it's like this living room right now.
Spill Studio is your sub, right?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
And you get to leave once we get our $10 million.
Yeah, you ain't getting out this life.
Yeah, nobody is giving you $10 million, so I can leave.
Oh, well.
We can't find 10 cents on Cyrus.
Well, let me start a Kickstarter. Hold on. Let me get online. See.
I don't know what to say. There's a movie. This is one of those movies where I know people are. See, I'm the guy where people say, "Man, all right, you like it, but what's your complaint?" I really don't have any complaints here, except for that it might be too long for some people. That's it. I
Too
like
long
this.
for you?
No, not
Then
at
you
all.
got no complaints.
Then I have none. I'm not going to say better than. Well, I'm not going to say better than sex because it's. I don't know. Fuck, I'm confused.
Damn. You're so
say,
torn.
I'm going to say a very, very high full price.
I'm right there with you. It's like, man, I don't even know what I give better than sex anymore, but this is so close because at the point where I was like, it's near the end, I'm like, man, this is definitely a high full price for me. At the end, it choked me up, and I was like, oh, that dips into better than sex.
I know, man. It was that end.
It was emotional.
So moving, man.
It did have very poignant, like, final 5 minutes to
Yeah.
it, with all due to Tom Hanks and the.
Oh, it does, yeah.
Because he finally has to go. All right, guys, everybody get out of the way.
Everybody get out of the room.
Everybody get out of the way. I got to do my acting thing now. Hold on, everybody. You ready for this? You ready? Go. And then you're like, God damn it, Tom
You
Hanks.
thought Forrest Gump was great. Wait till you see this shit.
You know what? It's so like so many movies that are drama, especially action movies. They don't have that scene like that, and I'm like, that's what's missing from these because that's what gives this all its weight and you know,
With humanity.
yeah, it makes it something. It's like, wow, there were real consequences here, and people are affected. It's not like whew, glad we took care of that. Now let me drink my martini and ride off in the sunset with
Yeah.
this babe I just met on this adventure.
Exactly. You know, that's what it is. It's nothing that blew me away. And it's not the kind of movie that's going to blow you away. It's just, it did everything right for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah. I thought the movie was amazing. It's easily in my top 5 of movies so far.
All right, so give it you some more bullshit, sir. You know?
Yeah, that's what I was reading. What do I look like, co-host?
No, I'd give it a fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
Fuck this movie and its Oscar.
In fact, that's his rating right now.
Well, once again, like I said before, there's really nothing wrong with this movie. You're right. It's very tight. It's extremely well done. There's no point you go like, they did that wrong. I can't really say that about anything. I can only say that for me, the type of thing that appeals to me, I did find that second half was overlong. Maybe not by any more than 10 or 15 minutes at most, but it's not really hurt by that extra time. I was just like, okay, I'm ready for this to wrap up. I don't think it's the best film of the year. I know some people already are saying it is. I'm still throwing my vote in for Gravity, which for me I liked a lot better than this. I was much more on the edge of my seat with that.
Because there's no black people in space?
Yeah, exactly. Thank God. There's only place left, except for North Austin,
Except for Wesley Snipes.
but I still really did enjoy it. It's a very well made movie. For me, it's a low full price.
What?
Wow, you might as well just give it some old bullshit.
I know. Right? You want that to happen after the shit you've had to go through in the past. You're like, I give Inception a high matinee.
Wait a
minute. Why'd you hate Inception, Leon?
I'm not satisfied. I don't want full price. $1 million.
1 minute, I will kill all your friends.
If you're gonna shoot somebody, shoot me!
Relax. Everything gonna be okay. Look at me. Sure. Look at me. Sure. I'm the captain now.